ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. One of the most common principles or ideas or rules by which humanity is supposed to live are the Ten Commandments. Do you know where the Ten Commandments were given? At what time? According to the Bible, when our ancestors left Egypt, broke the chains of slavery, they got to Mount Sinai. At Mount Sinai, Moses went up and he heard from God the Ten Commandments. The first two, the entire people of Israel heard, but they said to Moses afterwards, we cannot tolerate really. We're afraid. We tremble when we hear the voice of God. Please, you tell us the rest of the commandments. So the 8 other commandments were given directly to Moshe, to Moses, and he transmitted it to Jewish people. How are the 10 commandments called in the Bible? They're not called commandments at all. They're called Aseret HaDevarim, the 10 pronouncements, or maybe the 10 basic principles by which humanity, mankind, is supposed to live. What are these commandments that everybody says, or some people at least say, I don't have to observe all the mitzvot, all the petty rules. I live by the 10 commandments. I would like to ask these people, can you recite the 10 commandments? Maybe you know some of them, I'm not saying no, but I doubt that many know all 10 of them. Let's start with the first one. Which is the first commandment? Actually, it starts like this. I am the Lord your God who took you out of Egypt. Is that a commandment? That seems to be an affirmation. God said something. What am I supposed to do with that? According to Maimonides, to Rambam, that means you have to believe in God, because he is the one that took you out of Egypt. So the first commandment is really belief in God, because many people argue that in the Bible, nowhere does it say that you have to believe in God. Maimonides says that the first commandment is actually that. You have to believe in God, that is so, that God is all-powerful. He took us out of Egypt. Are the people that live by the 10 commandments, do they all believe in God? Let us say yes. One of the commandments says, honor your father and your mother. Can you find today in society a boy or a girl who hasn't told either father or mother, you don't know what you're talking about? You live in another age. You know, we are different from you. You don't understand us. What teenager hasn't rebelled against his parents? And according to the 10 commandments, you're supposed to honor your father and your mother. According to Jewish tradition, not only during their lifetime, even after they leave this world, you're supposed to honor their name. Do you know how many people are not loyal to their spouses in today's society? How many have extramarital affairs? Yet, in the 10 commandments it says, Lo tachmod. You should not covet. You shouldn't desire the wife of your friend. And how many people fail by that? Actually, as many people say, the devil is in the details. The 10 commandments are 10 basic principles, but there are many, many more things that we have to live by. It is very curious. 613 is written with 3 digits. 6, 1, and 3. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So many say the 10 commandments really contain all the 613 ordinances we find in the Torah. But as I said, the devil is maybe in the details. You know what the Talmud says, for instance, about honor your father and your mother? You shouldn't sit at the seat, on the seat of your father at the table. When you have dinner, your father has a specific seat. Don't sit in that seat. You are not allowed to contradict your father. If your father tells you today is Tuesday and you know today is Monday, so you're not allowed to say, listen, Father, you don't know what you're talking about. Today is Monday. You have to say, well, yesterday was Sunday, we went to the beach, so that your father will somehow deduce himself, today must be Monday. There are many little rules, you know. If you find something, you're supposed to look for the owner, to give it back to him. You shouldn't mislead somebody. You should love your neighbor as you love yourself. There's so many little details that the 10 commandments are really 10 basic principles. But to live by them is not as easy as many people think. I don't have to do anything else. Just the Ten Commandments, that is sufficient for me. Well, one of the Ten Commandments says that you have to observe the Sabbath. How many of those people who say they live by the Ten Commandments really observe the Sabbath as a day of rest, as the Torah instructs us? So maybe the Ten Commandments are very important. I don't say no, but there are many more details that we should live by. It seems that in the time of the Beit HaMikdash, the Ten Commandments were recited every day. But our rabbis decided that if we continue to recite them every day, we will think that this is the basis of Judaism and everything else doesn't matter. So they actually took it out of the daily service, and we no longer recite the Ten Commandments every day. But that doesn't mean that they are not important. If you really live by the Ten Commandments, you are surely a great human being. But you could be even better if you live according to all the mitzvot, according to all the ordinances that are written in the Torah.